to do something concrete that would spark change and bring attention to the injustices that are happening today.
We Are Proud presents a candid conversation on race relations. Now, your host, Jaron Jordan.
Hey there, friends, and thanks for being with me. I'm Jaron Jordan. What happens to a dream deferred? It's a question Harlem Renaissance writer Langston Hughes poses in his poem Harlem, published in 1951. This year we have been hit by two pandemics, a global health pandemic and a racial pandemic that some have chosen to ignore for far too long. The deaths of Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Rayshard Brooks, and the countless others whose names often don't make headlines have motivated a new wave to join an old cry for justice.
And we stand in solidarity with all those people, and we just letting y'all know that this shit not finna keep happening.
In the capital city, we've been here before. The death of Alton Sterling in 2016 thrust Baton Rouge into a national spotlight, deepening painful wounds for some and sparking difficult conversations for others about where our community was and where we wanted it to be.
Please, I can't breathe.
Our moral compass has to respond when we see tragedies like that happen, regardless of the color of our skin.
Now, as we find ourselves having similar conversations, what are we learning as to not repeat the past? Are you ready to see the dream of freedom and equality become reality, or does it explode? We are continuing our conversation on race relations in Baton Rouge with a focus on justice and politics. Right now, millions of voters are casting ballots in what many are calling the most consequential election of their lives. Over the next half hour, we'll take a look at race and politics, the legal and political barriers that exist for black and brown people, and what we can all do right now to ensure our community becomes one of equality and fairness for all. After all, one of the founding ideals of our current legal system proclaims equal justice under law. So we'll start with justice and what that equality means. I recently had the chance to profile the journey of Baton Rouge's own Archie Williams from the capital city to Angola to Hollywood. Here's his story and how he's using that journey to motivate change. Archie Williams captured our hearts with this audition on America's Got Talent.
Don't let the sun go down on me.
Then broke our hearts with this.
I was just incarcerated for 37 years for somebody else's crime.
Ooh.
DNA freed me.
Oh, my God. This year, less than 1 year after his release, Archie finished top 10 on this season of America's Got Talent. I talked exclusively with Archie after his season ended about what justice means to him.
It don't work. I don't have nothing to say to evil. Only thing I have to say is to my people, the only way we overcome is unification.
If we take a look at the Louisiana Department of Health data, 57% of Louisianians who have died from the virus had hypertension or high blood pressure. 34% had diabetes and 20% had heart disease. Long before the pandemic, these were the same leading causes of death in black people. I spoke with the hip-hop doc, Dr. Ronnie Whitfield, for more.
African Americans have the highest rates of hypertension in the world. So we've been talking about this before, the underlying health conditions that may predispose someone to untoward effects if they get infected with the virus.
Brian served 24 years of that life sentence before being granted to parole less than 2 weeks ago. He joins us now alongside Andrew Hunley of the Louisiana Parole Project, which played a big role in the process. I want to thank you both for being here. What would you say about Louisiana's habitual offender law that sentenced you to life in prison in 1997?
The law needs to be reconstructed under the habitual offender laws, especially.
Well, with the COVID-19 pandemic, many of us have been working from home on our own businesses, or we're running our businesses from home, and many have resorted to using social media like never before. I'm joined now by Dina Wilde, who is going to really show us how to secure the bag, which is something that's very important right now in 2020. Your business is called Secure Your Bag. Thanks for joining us. Some amazing pieces here. Tell us how you started with this.
Well, Secure Your Bag, it was started because I always did love bags, but however, I wanted to.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that you learned something new and are compelled to shop black not only during the holidays, but all year long.